Congress in March, Alcatel OneTouch took the wraps off of the Idol 3, which has been one of the most popular smartphones and best smartphones you can buy under $300. Many of us know this as a 5.5-inch smartphone, but Alcatel OneTouch did announce a 4.7-inch version as well. The smaller brother finally launched a few weeks ago, and here's our full review of the 4.7-inch Alcatel OneTouch Idol 3. Let's get started. Spec-wise, there are a few differences here compared to its 5.5-inch brother. We have the Snapdragon 410 powering the Idol 3 4.7, which is a pretty popular chip. It's found in other mid-rangers like the Moto G. It's also a pretty powerful chip considering it is a mid-range chip. We also have a 2000 mAh non-removable battery inside. Of course, the display is smaller at 4.7 inches, so it's a 720p panel instead of a 1080, which is in the big brother to 5.5-inch Idol 3. The Idol 3 does maintain 16 gigs of storage, which is expandable via microSD up to 200 gigabytes. And there's a 13 megapixel camera around the back with an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, as well as the front-facing JBL speakers. Design-wise, Alcatel's Idol 3 4.7 looks identical to the 5.5-inch version, just a bit smaller. I'm a big fan of the brushed metal look on the back of the Idol 3. The dual front-facing speakers have also been retained with the smaller Idol 3 here. While the speakers look a bit smaller, the speakers are still very impressive. Watching a YouTube video or even just listening to music on Spotify is an amazing experience. The speakers get nice and loud without distorting the sound. That's always an important aspect when it comes to speakers on a smartphone, especially when it comes to how loud they are. Idol 3 5.5 had very good battery life. I was averaging around 4 to 5 hours on screen with about 17 to 20 hours off the charger. Not good enough for 2 days normally, but good enough for those that are heavy users. So our expectations for the 4.7-inch variant were pretty high, and it did not disappoint. As you can see, I was easily able to get to 3 hours on screen time with the Idol 3 4.7. When it comes to the camera, we're looking at a 13 megapixel sensor on the back, and overall, the images came out quite good. We can't really compare it to the Galaxy Note 5 or the LG G4 because it just doesn't compare. We're looking at an $800 smartphone versus an under $200 smartphone, and it's not really fair. The camera is nice and fast at taking photos, and it has plenty of modes inside the app to get some great images, which includes HDR, and you can see some of those images in the video now. Alcatel OneTouch has chosen to stick with an almost stock experience here with Android 5.0.2 running on the Idol 3. There are just a few changes here, which includes a few icons that are changed, as well as a few additions into the settings app for gestures and such. Overall, the software is nice and fluid and does everything it needs to do without any issues. Something that more manufacturers need to do. At an asking price of $179, it's hard not to recommend the Idol 3 4.7. It is truly a great smartphone here from Alcatel OneTouch. With 1.5 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigs of internal storage, it comes in with double the storage and more RAM than the entry-level Moto G at the same price point. Mixed with stock Android and amazing sounding front-facing speakers, the Idol 3 4.7 is definitely a win. You can pick it up from Amazon now, and we'll leave a link down below in the description if you're interested. That's it for this one, so if you liked the video, make sure you like and comment as usual, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.